Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it so very much. Welcome, my name is Aiden. I'm so happy that you're here. Today I thought I would do something completely different, something I haven't done before. School is starting. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to school. Going back to not this type of a makeup look, which is fine. Like, I have been craving some more neutrals here and there, but also just, I don't know. Not looking forward to school and all of the stuff that goes along with it. It's going to be a rough semester. It's going to be a long semester. Anyway, what I wanted to do was show you all of the eyeshadow palettes that I wore this summer. I think this is probably going to be two parts just because I have worn so many of them. I have this little guy full of eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to start here. And then I have like a complete tote bag of them because basically what I've done is I've worn a different palette every single day this summer. There's been a few that I've worn more than once, and I'll tell you about those, but I just have been having fun, experimenting, and I thought I'd show you all of them. So yeah, if you are interested in this, let me know down below. Like, let me know if you want to see more things like this. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and then, yeah, let me know if you think this is fun. I was meant to do, like, this, I was going to do one of these, like, in June, and then one of these in July, but it's come to the part where I'm just doing all of them all in one go. I'm not going to swatch everything. I'll show you what I wore for sure and tell you what I thought. And if I'm going to declutter them, I will let you know that too, because there are a few of these that are leaving my collection. Should I start? We're going to start with the one that is probably my favorite. This is, I've just been packing all of my palettes to take with me for the next semester. And I'm like, okay, these are all the ones that I want to do 444s on. And yeah, I picked out all of those, and then I was like, I have to add this one back in because I love this one so much. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Biba palette, and this is basically like the perfect palette. I love this one so much. So you have that one shimmer shade, you have like the cream to powder formula down here, this one over here. It's such a good palette. I really, really enjoy this palette. I wore this. This is what I took to Nashville. I wore this most of the time. So if you saw like my picture at the Grand Ole Opry, this is the eyeshadow I was wearing. Didn't love the way my face looked, but my eyes, I was like, oh. And I got compliments on it as well. So this is an amazing palette. I really recommend it. And it will never be, well, I won't say never, but it will not be leaving my collection anytime soon. Let me swatch a couple. We'll do that cream to powder formula, and then we'll do one of the mattes too, so you can kind of see the difference in them. They're just, oh, they're so nice. Really, really enjoy that. That shimmer is so pretty. The cream to powder is like one of my favorite formulas too. I'm very sad I can't take all of my Natasha Denonas with me, because I would. All right, next up is from Viseart. I didn't know what to think about these. These are the Petit Pro. I had some of these. I did declutter one of these, and I have another one that is actually going to be in a upcoming 444 eventually. So I have this one. This is the Petit Pro 2. Let me take off the plastic as I just stick my finger in it. I don't love this formula. I think I am going to keep this one just because, but like, look at this purple. Like, just the purple is not great. And people talk about how great these are, and I'm like, okay, the shimmers are pretty good, but I just don't like the mattes. I don't feel that they are that great. We'll swatch one more up at the top. They're just kind of patchy. They take a lot more work, and I don't feel like they work as nice as they could. Like I said, I'm going to keep this one for now. These are all eventually going to be in a 444 probably next year. I already have all my palettes basically planned out for next semester too. For the spring, because I've been just really wanting to organize lately. So I don't recommend these. I don't think that they are worth the money. I would much rather have the Natasha Denona, because you can definitely see the difference in how that they perform. Just heads better, if that makes sense. All right, we got my Ethereal Bloom by Artist Couture. I'm so sad about this one because I was carrying a stack of palettes to pack away in January, and I dropped this one and completely shattered that blue. So blue is gone. Unfortunately, you can't use that shadow. This was an okay palette. The mattes are rough. The shimmers are very almost non-existent. Let's see. Can you see? We're going to swatch a couple more of the mattes. Just, you know what? Well, those worked really nice. But look at the shimmers. Like, they're just the very wash of color that you can barely see on your eye. I'm going to declutter this one. I'm shocked. I was not planning to declutter that one. But looking at the swatches, playing with it, I like this shade the best. That's my favorite out of all of them. Other than that, I don't think it's worth it. I'm glad that I got it at BoxyCharm and I didn't pay a whole lot of money for it because it would be disappointing otherwise. And can you see it's already starting to stain just a little bit, that hot pink, that very few, less than a minute that it was on my skin. So yeah, this one is going away. We got some other Natasha Denonas. This is the Mini Crush palette. This is one that I purchased not too terribly long ago. I got it around Valentine's Day. It was a limited edition. I don't think you can get this one anymore, unfortunately. Make sure my hand's dry. This one is very pretty. It does not have the cream to powder formula, but the shadows in here perform really well. It's a very certain vibe. You have to be looking for those specific colors or else it's going to not be worth it for you. This is one I'm sad is no longer available. This is Marc Jacobs. This is the Cherrific palette. I love the shades in here. I picked this one up at Marshall's and I got it even though I knew this shadow was completely shattered. I did kind of press it back in, which helps a great deal. But this, gorgeous, so soft, so soft. I have been really enjoying this palette. Do get some fallout with some of the shimmers, I mean the mattes, but look at those, look at the payoff, so pretty. Really like the colors on this one. This is probably my favorite Marc Jacobs palette of all of the ones that he has done. I love the color story. I love the formula as well. All right, next up we have Teddy Bear by Too Faced. This is so cute. I mean, hello. Great neutral, just really pretty shades. I love the packaging on it. It's so cute too with the teddy on it. The shimmers in here are pretty good. There's some nice mattes in here. Do I think it's the best palette ever? No. Do I think it is a decent palette and one that I will continue to wear? Yes. Yes, I do. I think it is a nice palette. I don't think it is the best Too Faced that they've ever done, but I also don't think it's a bad palette by any means. Got another Natasha Denona. This is the mini Zendo palette. Obviously, I liked this one. I wish that... I don't know. I don't have the Zendo palette. I want the midi sized one. This one is pretty. It's not my favorite color story. The green in there in the middle is not one that I reach for a whole bunch, but it is a pretty good one. You got your one darker shade that is a shimmer. You got some pretty neutral mattes in there. I think it's a pretty palette. I do enjoy it. Is it my favorite? No, but it's up there. Like it's probably one of my top 5 in this in the 5 pans, this size and the larger size. All right, next up we have from Wander Beauty. This is what is this one? This is the Wanderous Rush. So it's kind of like the most neutral tone of all. You have 2 mattes and then you have the rest are shimmers. We're gonna do the 2 mattes and then I'll do 2 shimmers too. I didn't use all of the shades in here. I didn't use the bottom 2 because, like I said, I was using this like one day. Once again, fallout from that brown shade, the dark brown, had quite a bit of fallout. I don't love this palette. This shimmer is nice, but like these are not so much shimmers that I would reach for. And I don't find the mattes to be very exciting or like good. Like they're okay. They're just not ones that I really like the formula on. So I'm going to declutter this one too, just because I want to get a few more things out. I know I'm going to have like a massive palette, just show you all the ones I'm decluttering. And then that way I can also show my friends so that if they want a palette, they can kind of put in a word for it. Then we have Pastel Lilacs from Huda Beauty. This is what it looks like. It is very pretty in terms of the shades in there. There's some interesting shades in here. The shimmers are not my favorite. She has different formulas of shimmers, and these are just okay. They have some pigment to them, but they're not as smooth as other. Oh my gosh. So we have a pond. This room faces a pond, and there was 2 herons that just flew by, which was so cool. Anyway, the shimmers are okay. They're not my favorite formula from Huda. The mattes, like this is the darkest matte in it, so you're going to get a very light color. I'm not decluttering any of my Hudas though, because I kind of want to have all of the Hudas eventually. I'm very close. She keeps putting out more, so then I get behind again, but definitely will be keeping this one. Don't know if it's the one that I would recommend the most. It depends on, like, if you want some matte looks, some light looks, this might be a good one, because they do pack some pigment, unlike some of the other palettes that we've seen. Going back to Natasha Denona, because I just have a lot of them. This is the Coral palette. This is one of the $48. They could be more now though, because everything seems to be going up. I kind of like this palette. It's a weird combination for me. It's just like, I use some of these shades a lot, and then other shades I just don't reach for. Oh, it's like, what did I do? Try to swatch the same thing twice. So the purple is one of those more topper shades that's very light, has more pigment than and more of an emphasis than the Artist Couture did, but it's still not my favorite. I much prefer that peach that's down there. It's an okay palette. It's not my favorite color story, but I did get it like on sale, which is why I purchased it, because that was back when I was like, any Natasha Denona I can get on sale, I will buy. I'm not as bad now. All right, we got Makeup Forever. This is the Artist Shadows in 3. They're numbered, and this is what it looks like. There are several different shades in here. They're all like shimmery satin type shades. They're not, there's no like traditional mattes in here. I'm going to swatch more than normal just because I want to kind of give you an idea. They're all like cream type shades, but there's some that are just really pretty. Other ones, like that blue, didn't swatch too good, that first one. The pink swatched nice, and the brown swatched nice. I've held on to this palette for such a long time because I do think the colors are so pretty. Like, I like looking at it, but I never reach for it. And I'm going to declutter it. I'm going to declutter it. That was not when I was kind of like had it on my mind to declutter, but I don't think I'm going to reach for it. And it's a good palette. Like, there's some beautiful colors in there. I just hope somebody can get more use out of it than I do, because I feel bad about having so much. This is going to end up kind of like a 30 and 30, but with eyeshadow palettes, which I don't think I've ever done an eyeshadow palette. I've done other things. We have another Huda Beauty. This is gold. I love this palette. Just going to tell you that right now. Beautiful shimmers, have some great mattes in here. I love this shade matte for my skin tone. It is perfect. And then it just, it has some really pretty shades in there. Has different finishes in the shimmers. We're going to do, I don't know why I'm swatching so many. I was only going to do 3 swatches per palette, but here we go. It's just one that is a great everyday type of a palette. I would get a lot of use out of it. So I think it is a good one if you're looking for something that's just pretty and practical. The Huda Gold palette is a great one. We have a Too Faced. This is Major Love. So cute. I love the packaging on this one. Not gonna lie, this is not a great palette. I'm not decluttering it. I'm going to tell you that right now because I have like a collection of these, and I love my little collection that I have, but it's just, it's not the best. Just gonna say that. Ow. Be careful, don't pinch your fingers when you close it. So the shimmers are kind of all over the place. That green is really pretty. The one underneath it is not great. The mattes are going to be very powdery, kind of the same type of a formula. I feel like it's Too Faced's, it's not their best formula that they have in a lot of their palettes. It's kind of like a step down. It's not a bad formula. It's just, it's not the best. That green though, I would not touch with that dark green again because it is just Fallout City everywhere. So like it, will keep it because of my collection, but it's not one that I like feel like you need to go out and get. I would say it needs to be like 50% off. We have GXVE. This one was broken, so it's going to look terrible. They did send me another one, and I just kind of pressed this one back because I was like, you know what? I wanted one for my collection because I'm a huge Gwen Stefani fan. So when she came out with Give, I was just like, oh, I was so excited. And this was the palette that I thought had the best color story for me. And I'm trying not to buy just every single thing that she's put out because that's my tendency. And that's when she did her Urban Decay collection. That's what I did. But it's pretty good. It's not the shimmers are okay. I like the mattes better than the shimmers. The shimmers, they don't have as much of a punch as I want them to. They're more subdued shimmers. They're still pretty. They're just not like bam, really shimmery like you would get with like the Huda. I feel like the Huda gives more of a impact, as does Natasha Denona. So it's an okay palette. I think if you want something that's not like super in your face with the shimmers, it's a good one. But if you want like super shimmery stuff, it's not a good one for super shimmery. Let's go to another Natasha Denona. So this is the mini nude palette. There are some nice shades in here too. 3 shimmers and 2 mattes. And mattes are so good. I like, oh, they're just like butter and they blend, and her shimmers are gorgeous as well. Mini Nude is a good one. Definitely good. All right, next up we have Winky Luxe. This is the Mermaid Kitten palette. It's kind of a odd, like there's some pretty stuff in it. I got it because of the palette. Like it just looked so cute. Winky Luxe is pretty good quality. I struggled with this palette because I don't do a lot of blues. That's not really my scene. And so I struggled coming up with a full look with this. It is very pretty. Those shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. Very, very pretty shimmers. But for me personally, it's not a color story that I really enjoy or that I would reach for. Because like, I mean, you have the dark green matte here, and then you have like this matte here, and that's it. So I'm gonna declutter this one just because it's not one I'm gonna reach for again, and I'd rather somebody else who would use it have it instead. Huda, oh, this one is one of my go-tos. I've worn this so much since I got it. It doesn't look like it, but this is the Nude Light palette, and oh my gosh, let me tell you, this is like the perfect palette for light skin tones. I love every single color in this palette. I will show you it up close again, but look at those shimmers. Shimmers work well. The mattes work well. This purple is really pretty too. It kind of reminds me, I think there's like one that's similar in New Nudes and maybe even in Rose Gold, but this is an amazing palette. I've taken this to travel before. This is like a really good travel palette. So yeah, really enjoy this one. It's a good one. We have Charlotte Tilbury. This is Walk of No Shame. This one came free as a gift with purchase. So it is all kind of like shimmery shades. I will swatch all 4 in this quad so you can kind of see what's going on with them. I am not super impressed with this palette. I'm not going to get rid of it because it's one of the very few things I have from Charlotte Tilbury. But the shades are just okay. This weird, like this one, you really have to blend out. It's not the easiest palette to work with. That's all I'll say. So I don't think it's worth trying to get. There's probably a reason why it was the free gift with purchase. But yeah, it's just an okay palette. It's not something to like get really excited about or feel like, oh man, I need this because I really want something Charlotte Tilbury. All right, let's look at Natasha Denona. This is the Cupid eyeshadow palette. This came in a BoxyCharm. It was a BoxyCharm exclusive, and I guess these are supposed to be like shades that are in other palettes. I don't have all of her palettes. I have actually very few of her palettes in the grand scheme of things, but you know, when I can get BoxyCharm and I get the palette for included in that cost or for like a $9 add-on. Look at those shades, like so pretty. Shimmers way out shimmer Charlotte Tilbury. So if you want something more subtle, Charlotte. If you want something, that's Natasha. We have one less palette from that bag, and then I will, or that, from that tote, and then I will grab out probably 10 more, so we'll do an even 30 for this video. So this is the, oh, I should show you, IBY Poolside palette. This came in a BoxyCharm or an Ipsy, something like that. Probably Ipsy, actually. And I love the colors. Like, the colors are so pretty. It is a very pink palette. There are some really pretty shades in here. So we're just going to stick with the shimmers here. They do have a lot of fallout, so be careful of that. They are pigmented and they do pack a punch. I think this is a nice palette. It's not one that I'm like super excited about or feel like, oh, I really want to reach for that palette and wear that palette. Like, this is my ultimate summer palette. No, it's not that by any means, but I do think it is a fairly decent palette. So it is staying, because I do see myself getting some more use out of it, but yeah. All right, so let's finish off this 30 palettes, all right? So we have Venice Fling by Bailey Sarian and Estate. I know she's like a YouTuber, but I don't know who she is really. This palette, beautiful colors. Some very interesting shades in here. This is one that every time I look at it, I'm like, oh. The shimmers are very nice. Like, that matte is kind of lackluster. Let's do one more matte. Let's see. We'll do like this medium. Yeah, the mattes are okay. The shimmers are definitely where it's at with this palette. So an okay palette. Not one that I necessarily think like I needed in my collection. If I hadn't gotten it in a subscription box, I wouldn't have sought it out, but it's pretty nice. So there's that one. Next we have Pure and My Little Pony. This is the newer My Little Ponies, not the like 80s My Little Ponies. This is the movie one. I got this one because I loved the Trolls palette so much from Pure. It was so good. And I thought, oh, this one looks really good. And then I was like, these colors are all over the place. I don't even know where to kind of go with this. I do like this kind of, let's see, maybe this will be easier. This like taupey color, that one's really nice. I guess I did blues and greens with this look, and it was okay. It was just really okay. Nothing super exciting. Like, definitely not the same quality as the Trolls palette. This one is hard for me because I'm a collector and I love My Little Pony. Not that I watch any of the new My Little Pony stuff, but as a collector, I want to keep this desperately, but my brain is going, no, you need to declutter this because this isn't great quality for you. So it's being decluttered. That one, whew. All right, then we have Colourpop. This is Ticket to Dreamland. I think I might have the other one in the next video of this. So since I'm breaking it into two parts, the colors in here are beautiful. Just a lot. Once again, kind of hard for me to look at it and be like, oh, how am I going to put together a look? Because there's just a little bit of everything in here, and they don't necessarily all go in my, like, they don't all coordinate how I would coordinate them, if that makes any sense. So it's an okay palette. It's not, so you know what I'm going to do with this one, because I do love the packaging on this one. If this had more fun packaging, I would have kept this one, but I'm going to keep this one for the packaging, because I mean, the colors are fine in there. They're not my favorites. There are a couple nice colors in here that I will wear, but I'm keeping this because of the packaging, because look at how beautiful it is. I love the carousel horses on there. Sometimes you just got to go with what you feel. Okay, then we have Complex Culture. I've worn this one a few times. This is the Futures So Bright. I used this when I was traveling because I was needing a palette, and the mattes I really like. The shimmers in here have fallout like crazy. It's so annoying. Like, I wear them and I'm like, why is there so much fallout? Why do I have stuff all over my face? Actually, wow, look at that. I did not need fallout all over my YSL case. You know what? This is very pretty. And this is the one that gives me the most fallout of all. That one right there. I like the colors a lot. I have a quad of this too. Maybe I'll go look for the quad because I think the quad has like those colors in it. And I'll keep the quad and I'm going to declutter this one. This is like the most palettes I've decluttered in a long time. Okay, Sigma Bare Bliss. I picked this one up on Costco. It was like $15 on sale. It was really cheap. So there are a lot of pretty colors in here. A lot of colors that are like right up my alley. Oh yeah, you can definitely see, like, look at the quality between those two right there. Definitely so much better. I do kind of enjoy Sigma. This is only like the first palette that I've used. I do have the Cinderella palette and I used it. You'll see it in the next video. But I was really struggling because every single one of those has like a pretty thing in it and I didn't want to like ruin the impressions because it's like Jack and Gus and all of those. So this one is nice. I will be interested in trying more Sigma down the road, but that one is staying. We have from Fenty. I know this is not a palette that a lot of people like. This is the Moroccan Spice. I really like this palette. It is very pretty. I love the shades in here, and I really like the shimmers. Like, I know that is not how most people see it, but the mattes are nice. This is much better than the other palette that I had from Fenty. So you got like the topper there. Let's see, will you show? The topper there is that second shimmer, and then you have a really pretty regular shimmer. And I like the mattes. I really like how the mattes perform. So it is definitely staying in my collection. We got this one. This one came in Ipsy. This is the Moods by Lauren Sanchez. I don't know who Lauren Sanchez is. It sounds like the lady who hosted the first season of So You Think You Can Dance, which nobody remembers anymore. But I think her name was that, but I think it's a different person. Okay, so you have two highlighters in here, and then you have all of these shadows. I really do enjoy this palette. Like, it's silly, I know, but there's some really pretty shades in here. It's just a decent palette. It's not like an outstanding palette. It's not fantastic quality. It's not, you know, if I was ranking these, it would not rank in the top 10, but it's a nice palette, and I like it, and I'm keeping it because, and it's fun when you, that's what it looks like when it's unfolded. So yeah, it is staying in my collection. We are close to the end. We have the Murillo twins with Beauty Creations. This is what the palette looks like. I just got this in my July Ipsy, I believe. It was my choice, and I was frankly shocked that the palette was as large as it was. You do have like this glitter shade, which I'm not going to touch because I don't want to deal with glitter. These are very soft shimmers. They're like very mushy when you are working with them. And I've only used this one once total. Like, a lot of these other ones I've tried at least twice in their lifetime since I've had them. Not all of them, but I kind of like them. I just don't know if I'm going to reach for these shades a lot in the future. So it's staying. It's going to be kind of conditional. All of these eventually need to go into a 444. The only one that doesn't really is the mini Biba because I've worn that one so much, but I don't know. The colors, there's some nice colors in here, and the shimmers are pretty, but I just don't know how much I'm going to use the blues and the purple. We have a flutter from Colourpop. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just spaced on the name. This I did like an almost kind of neutral look. It was very pretty. I really enjoyed the look a lot that I came up with. I was shocked because I thought it was going to be like super in your face, and it wasn't. The shades are really pretty. This is classic Colourpop. Trying not to get eyeshadow everywhere. The only issue I really have with it is there are two chunky glitters that are like super glitters, which I will never use. So it's this shade here and then this gold shade here. We'll never use those, but other than that, it's a very pretty palette and has some really nice looks. This last palette is what I am wearing on my eyes today, and you probably have seen these eyeshadow palettes in videos here and there. Most of them, not all of them, because I haven't filmed every single day. But this is my old one. This is the Urban Decay Shadow Box, I think. I do like that it makes noise. This one, I have pan in one of these shades because, you know, that's how much I've used it. That's the shade that's kind of like upper lid. That is Scratch. That is one of my favorite shades ever. I really love it. You can tell I used to use these guys. I did not use those for today's look, but I'm wearing Ransom on the outside, and then I have Fishnet on the inside, and then I have a little bit of Honey. Honey is really pretty shade too. Is this super old? Yes. Do I care? No, because I still love this palette and I will still use it. It is not leaving my collection because it's fun. It's beautiful. Oh, I should show you some swatches. So, other than the ones that I have on my eyes, we'll do all but the black one. Just so pretty. Really nice quality. Like, they still pack a punch. If I had used a sponge tip applicator or my finger instead of the brush, they would be more intense. But I didn't want a super intense look because I knew I was going to have like a more intense lip today. So yeah, classic Urban Decay quality, not that naked quality. All right, so those are the 30 of the palettes I wore this summer. And of those 30, I'm decluttering a fifth. I'm decluttering 6 palettes. That's very impressive for me. I am not known as a big declutterer. I am a person who collects and then takes my time to decide if it's something that works for me or not. Unless it's something that really doesn't work right away, then that usually gets returned. Anyway, let me know if you have any of these palettes, if you had any of these palettes, what your thoughts and opinions are. If you think that I should have kept the ones that I am decluttering, or if you think something that I kept I should have decluttered, let me know all of that down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.